Hello, my name is Tanvi, and today I'm going to be talking about my digital anthology on identity and representation. So I have a little intro here. Identity and representation impact us daily, and they are a major part of our lives. So by exploring the site with me through this video, I'm going to show you how it could be found in literary works and ENG 3.1 class material. Okay, so thesis slide. So my main claim of my thesis is how you are able to express your identity influences how you represent yourself to others. Essentially, if you're secure in who you are, your confidence will shine over your insecurities. Okay. In the media that I chose, internal conflict results in poor judgment and consequences, revealing that true identity is shaped through the expression of the. So now I'm going to talk about the sources I have here. So I'm going to show that in my annotated bibliography. So my first source is Nosedive. So Nosedive from Black Mirror details Lacey Pound's journey on realizing her and her peers' unhealthy obsession over ranking over authenticity. This strengthens my thesis by showing that the freedom you feel when you embrace and not follow the herd is really significant. So that is why I kind of chose Nosedive. The most significant part of Nosedive is the speech Lacey gives at Naomi's wedding. She is yelling and saying rude things, and it really goes to show that she no longer cares about what other people think about her, and she is finally able to be her most authentic self, ditching the insecurity. I did do my analysis on it, so you'll hear about it in a bit. Okay. So my next source is Shakespeare's Othello. In this tragedy, Shakespeare wrote a lot of tragedies. In this one, Othello murders his wife, yikes, over his insecurity, which was essentially manipulated by another character, Iago. It strengthens my thesis by showing the tragic effects of not embracing your identity. So had Othello been a little bit more proud of who he was, he wouldn't been as prone to manipulation, and he wouldn't have believed that his wife was unfaithful, and he wouldn't have killed her for being unfaithful. So it's really tragic and upsetting. Othello, in the beginning, he really is in love with his wife. And when he realizes the truth in the end, you really see how much he loved his wife, because he kills himself because he can't have her anymore. Really just shows how much he had to be manipulated for him to go from loving his wife so much to him being able to kill her. The most significant quote is, "Jealousy is a green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on." So Iago says this to Othello. He's kind of like warning him, pretending to warn him, because he's pretending to be his friend. He's representing himself as Othello's friend. This is at the point where Othello is actually starting to believe Iago's lies, and Shakespeare uses it to show how much insecurity and jealousy can rob a person of their judgment. So if Iago had not cared so much about representation, and he didn't care about not getting the job, which caused him to want to revenge on Othello, then he wouldn't have manipulated Othello, and the whole tragedy wouldn't have happened. Okay, so my third source is The Unwinding of the Miracle, a memoir of life, death, and everything that comes after. So this is essentially a memoir of Julie Yip Williams, so it's a true story. It essentially details her journey with cancer, and she details the meaning of life. And she essentially says not to focus on your insecurity and your representation to others, but to be authentic and your truth. Her book contains letters to her daughters, and she says in one of these letters that I lived an incredible life that was filled with more than my fair share of pain and suffering, and I allowed it to change me for the better. So, although her insecurity caused her struggle, when she defines her new identity by her perseverance, her self-perception really improves. So she shows that life gains meaning when you are authentic, and it reinforces the topics in the first two sources. So representing yourself inauthentically to others, essentially at the end of your life, you won't feel like you lived with purpose, and she reflects on this. And you know this is true because she is at the end of her life while writing this book, which is really unfortunate. Okay, so on to my analysis of Nosedive. So I chose Nosedive because it reflects on how we focus on the representation via social media versus being genuine today. So a lot of people are on social media, a lot of people are on their phones, and Black Mirror was essentially created to talk about this, like the whole show. And in fact, Black Mirror is meant to represent what you see when you turn your screens off. So it's a reflection of who you are, and this is seen in Nosedive. So Nosedive from Black Mirror, like I said, it weaves the themes of identity and representation into the entire journey of Lacey. When Lacey is trying to fit in and represent herself of a high status, she ignores her brother and his advice. She is loud and rude to the taxi cab driver and the flight attendant, and she goes to Naomi's wedding. She never really truly liked Naomi, she just pretended she did, but she still agrees to speak at her wedding. This really shows how insecure she is, because like Othello, she is doing things that she wouldn't do had she been secure in herself. Okay, so when she realizes that she'll never get fulfillment, she finally feels free. The most significant part for me is the speech that she gives at Naomi's wedding, because she does things that would get her a low ranking. Knowing this, because it's proving that she doesn't care about what other people think. So it really goes to show how free she felt and how suffocating it was to be a part of this really superficial society that only cared about numbers and not who you truly are. Okay, so a bit more about my website. So I put it in the format of, I have my homepage here, and then it goes thesis, analysis, and bibliography, and then the Unwinding of the Miracle excerpt, I just put it as like a little bonus at the end to give sort of context, because this was not a course material. Otherwise the bibliography is last, and the thesis, which is a part of the intro to analysis, is first. Each section shows what is titled, so the thesis tab shows the thesis, the analysis shows the analysis, and the bibliography shows the bibliography. To conclude, when you embrace your identity, you won't feel the need to represent yourself in inauthentic ways in front of others. You'll feel free. Avoid making decisions out of poor judgment, like Othello, once again, yikes, and you might just find more meaning in life. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.